One of the big topics the last couple of seasons has been this bright yellow jersey. Back in the day, you could be world #1, and if you weren't following surfing, you could kind of hide and stick to your own game. But now, you're starting to see pressure really unfold on that #1 surfer in the world title race. On the men's side, it's Adriano de Souza. Potts, he's held this #1 role for the longest time in his career.
That he has. I mean, started off with a third, second, and then a first. It was probably one of the strongest starts we've ever seen in pro surfing, and I think that's the reason why he's still holding it. But also in the same breath that, you know, everyone else has faltered around him. It's sort of like he's been on a slippery slope. Everyone's had the opportunity to get it off him, but with that trying to get it comes that pressure, that added pressure. Mistakes come into play, and everyone around him has kind of made mistakes, Rosie.
Yeah, for us, you know, it's such a highlight to see that rankings change and just see that Jeep Leaders jersey go into someone else's hands. But you mention it to them, and you can see, you know, they feel that pressure. They know that they've got to, you know, do a lot of hard work. They can't rest on just having that Leaders jersey after one event.
Well, World Surf League did catch up with Adriano earlier, and he did admit to pressure. Once everything started turning yellow, he started feeling kind of some goosebumps against guys like Dane Reynolds in Fiji. Then wildcard Bruno Santos took him down in round 3. This is where we thought it was going to be wide open. Fanning had an opportunity,
yep.
And also we had Julian Wilson with an opportunity. They went down in the same round.
They did, you know, and I mean, Chopu, one of those waves really that upsets can come. I mean, conditions were marginal. It was kind of slow. The luck factor came into play. In saying that, you know, Aritz surfed out of his skin to beat Mick Fanning. Wasn't that Mick surfed bad? It was just that Aritz really had the waves of the day, and as was Julian as well. I mean, that trying to get that yellow jersey, you know, he should have just gone out there trying to surf for just another heat like he's been doing all year. He's been surfing incredibly well. With that thought, just, you know, trying to get it, comes those mistakes. Unfortunately, I think the guy that came closest was Owen Wright. I think he made the semi-finals. Had he gone into the finals, even if he hadn't won that final, he would have got the yellow jersey. But in saying that, he's right there. And I love the fact that we've got 5 guys within 1,500 points of this lead.
Yeah, and you mentioned to Owen Wright that he was that 1 heat away, and you can just tell, you know, they're thinking about that, and that's factoring into their performances.
That's right. Owen realized that after the contest was done, that he had that chance. He wants it as well. Owen Wright's made the final out here in the past. With these warm-up surfs, just with more insight, Rosie, out of that world title picture, who's really been spending the most time in this lineup over the last week?
You can't fault Mick Fanning for just consistently being out in the lineup, consistently trying out equipment, and really just putting on a show. I mean, you watch Mick Fanning on a wave and you realize, okay, that's the way this wave is meant to be surfed. His timing and his precision is just outstanding. But then, you know, you've got the likes of John that's been blowing up. So it's just fun to watch everyone's approach.
Well, now when you see so many ups and downs from guys trying to get that #1 spot, you start seeing opportunities now for Kelly Slater, was felt to be out of the world title race at the start of the season. He comes in #6 in the world in this contest, but he's the most dominant surfer ever at the Hurley Pro at lower trestles. Do you see that kind of form with Kelly coming into this event, Potts?
I see him getting better and better. I mean, obviously he surfed unreal over there in Tahiti, but I think really needed to make the finals. Every event that slides by that Kelly doesn't make the finals or win it, I think it becomes harder and harder for him. He's got to be right thereabouts going into pipe, and if he does, you know, I think he's in a good place right now, you know, hanging around with him a little bit. He seems happy. He's got a lot of good boards under his feet. I think he's enjoying, you know, I think he's let go of the fact that, you know, I've got 11 world titles under my belt. I think that's enough. You know, I mean, 12 would be good, but if it doesn't come, I mean, the kid doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. So I think if he adopts that kind of attitude, he'll do well here. Go to Europe, he's won both those events, and then Pipeline, I mean, he dominates that. So I think Kelly's in a good place.
Another dangerous name in that top picture, Felipe Toledo, who won the QS 10,000, now a local in this lineup, is going to be one to watch.